Once in a while, I'll have a customer tell me that it's a bit difficult to mix my grain bags, so I thought I'd do a video on how I do it, and I think it's the easiest way to go about it. Once you get it out of the box, it'll come in a little plastic sleeve or a bag. You take that out, and at this point it's basically under a vacuum. I'll pull on the bag a little bit like this to let some of the air in, and I'll either let it sit or I'll gently squeeze some of the grain downwards. Once it's mostly squeezed and the grain is brought towards the filter, I'll let it rest for a while because it's still under vacuum and the filter needs to let in some air, which will loosen up the grain and allow you to mix and shake it much more easily. I'm going to let this sit for a little while and then I'll come back to it and show you what I mean. Okay, now that it has sat a bit, it's had a chance to expand full of air and it's much looser and easier to shake. At this point, you want to rotate it in a tumbling fashion. And doing so makes it where you can mix the top in a rotation, and given enough time, you can get it all the way down to the bottom. It's pretty easy to do. If you do a bunch of them, you can do it in kind of a succession where by the time you're done adjusting the last bag, the first bag should have rested long enough to suck in air, which will make it easier to mix. So it doesn't take too long, and you don't really need to do it immediately. If you inoculate using liquid culture, you can, come back to it after it's colonized a bit and mix it in at that point. The main issue arises when people are using auger wedges where it'll end up at the top, and then you have to mix it around to get it deeper in. But that really shouldn't be an issue because you can also seal the top of it once it's full of air by cutting it open, and that should leave enough room to make it easier to mix, and you don't have to worry about the resting period that sucks the air in and makes it easier to mix.